All right, we are running a little bit late here, but we are back with the Apex Energy Truck Series for the Slingshot Racing League. We are at Atlanta this week. Because we're running a little late, we will hop into the national anthem right now quick while qualifying is just starting. And when we get back, we will get you up to speed.
Welcome to the Real Atlanta Motor Speedway, one of the fastest and roughest tracks in NASCAR. The fans here in Hampton, Georgia are accustomed to witnessing some of the closest finishes in NASCAR history. Names like Dale Earnhardt, Bobby Labonte, Kevin Harvick, Jeff Gordon, Carl Edwards, and Jimmy Johnson come to mind. And don't forget 2004, that saw the late Bobby Hamilton edge Mike Skinner in one of the most thrilling finishes in NASCAR history. Ladies and gentlemen, the Apex Energy Truck Series welcomes you to the UD Awards 150 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Ryan O'Hara here alongside Tony Hilbrand. And Tony, the points battle has tightened, and these drivers will have 4 sets of tires. And for those of you who haven't seen a race at the Legacy track, they're gonna need it.
Yeah, this place is definitely going to be a slick track. Once they get a bit deep into the run, it's going to depending on how hard they're pushing, they might be getting tight and just push up the track, or they might kick their rear end out. But it's definitely going to be a handful once they get later into the run. And as you said, there are 4 sets of tires, 3 of which are in the pits. So they do have an extra set this week because of that. Again, it's only 100 laps, but and the fuel mile, the fuel window is about 35 to 40 laps. I was told. This track did open in 1960. It's 1.54 miles in length, and it has 20 degrees of banking in the corners. Yeah, it should be an exciting show. We do have quite a few people here again tonight, so a good turnout again. I'm expected this race to be quite a show tonight.
Yeah, and in a crash on the racetrack, Matt Kuntz just went straight into the fence as during his qualifying lap. Not good. Matt Kuntz currently scored 20th on the board. But going back to the points battle, Johnny Rapp has a 12-point edge over Josh Ward, 2 of the best closers here in the Apex Energy Truck Series. It's going to be very interesting to see how the tire strategy plays out with 2 of the best closers. You know, Rapp has the edge and wins, but, you know, he's obviously he's done really well over the last couple races, but, you know, Ward has also been right there. So, you know, one mistake could change this entire points battle.
And closing in third place after a dominated race last week, Chase Berry with that win and all those bonus points from all those laps led. He's not too far behind either with what, like 6 races left, I believe, 5 races left counting this one. So yeah,
absolutely. And Chase Berry did not qualify. He did not post his speed. He will start this race from the 23rd position. Do you think that is a strategy, or perhaps did he miss qualifying?
He usually starts towards the back. It's just something he does. Speaking of, we will go through the grid here. Tonight, the pole was won by Patrick Colby. I believe that's his first pole ever in this series. He ran a 31.302. Scott Sobczak, who is normally the pole winner, 5 thousandths of a second off in second place. Third place will be Johnny Rapp in the 906, a special paint with a different number this week. We will get more on that later. Chris Smith is in fourth. Fifth is the 92 Josh Ward. Sixth, Rhett Tucker. Seventh will be Cole Sicchetti. Evan Piento will be starting eighth. Ninth will be Patrick Doppelberger, and 10th will be Rye Jones.
And going through 11th through 20th, we have Jeff Pogo in the number 43 machine, Cordell Lothgrade in 12th, Chris Lowry in 13th, Nathan Rogie in 14th, Tim Tokarski in 15th, Ellis Thomas, the man who hired me, 16th. Got to thank him for everything. Paul Thomas in 17th, Larry Poling 18th, Zachary Douse 19th, and as previously mentioned, Matt Kuntz, who wrecked on his second qualifying lap, will start 20th.
21st will be Trevor Trago in the 37. Brady Powers will be starting in 22nd in the number 22. As you said, Chase Berry, last week's winner, decided not to qualify again, and he will be starting 23rd. Scott Tompkins is race control, so that spot is not his. Timmy Emmanuel will be in 25th. Nick Cesare in 26th. And rounding out the field is Chris Tepp in the 15 car. And as you can see, Johnny Rapp is now pulling ahead of the field. This is in tribute to someone that he knows that was lost recently.
And going through that, this truck is dedicated to the members of Almonesson Lake Fire Company and firefighters nationwide. Jeff Pfeffer, serving 50 years of dedicated service to the TWP of Deptford, will be missed dearly, but not forgotten. Jeff made his way through the ranks quickly in his career, serving over 15 years as chief. Jeff was a hometown kid drag racing in his 1968 Chevrolet Camaro, right beside his brother Chris in his 1968 Chevrolet. Jeff loved playing in bands and started playing drums in his early 20s. With his new passion for country music, he has played at the XTU concert and has opened up for big country bands in Nashville for the CMAs. Jeff leaves behind a legacy. Whatever you do, do it wholeheartedly, with humility, and to the best of your ability. 9301, signing off.
And that's again, that's in tribute to Jeff. I think it's Pfeiffer, I believe, is how that's pronounced. But yeah,
Yeah, Jeff Pfeiffer. So we'll go through that real quick. Out of respect, Jeff Pfeiffer, serving 50 years of dedicated service to the TWP of Deptford, will be missed dearly, but not forgotten. Again, apologies for the mistake on the last name. And again, Jeff leaves behind a legacy. Quote, whatever you do, do it wholeheartedly with humility and to the best of your ability. And as we get ready for this race, it's the UD Awards 150 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, one of the fastest mile-and-a-half tracks on the circuit. And, back in the early 2000s, this track was not only the fastest, but, there wasn't much tire wear at Atlanta. Now, with this surface more worn out, guys aren't going to be able to go full throttle, going all out into the corners as one would expect. And especially on restarts, Tony, spinning the tires here is very prominent.
Especially if you are on older tires, which again, they do have an extra set, but you still want to save them for when you absolutely need them. So if we got a few cautions where we're kind of later in a run, people are gonna stay on some old tires. That's definitely gonna cause issues on the restarts. The track, I don't believe, is too hot right now, but as the trucks are running on them, more rubber laying down, it's gonna slick off. It's definitely gonna be a handful as the pace car pulls off.
And the green flag is underway. We are underway for the UD Awards 150 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Patrick Colby leading the field, turn one.
A nice start by everybody. Everybody's keeping it nice and clean, and they're still 2x2 as they go through turn two, about 8 deep here.
It seems like the back half of the field just decided to lay back a little bit and let things thin out.
Yeah, it is still a pretty long race, so they're probably just trying to get their tires to warm up because cold tires are slicker, obviously. And Patrick Colby does lead the first lap of the race, so there's some bonus points for him for leading a lap to go with his pole. And I'm sure he's going to try to lead as much as he can, especially with Johnny Rapp and Scott Soudzak right on his rear. Those two are definitely fast, and he wants to try to prove that he can stay up there with him. And he does have a win at the sister track in Charlotte earlier this season.
And for all the fans who are tuning in on Twitch, thank you again for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we will answer any questions you have throughout this race.
Like Patrick's starting to pull a little bit of a gap as Johnny Rapp and Scott Sobczak are still side by side here. And the top 7 or so looks like they have pulled away from the rest of the field.
And we have a battle, it looks like, for the 5th position. And it's Josh Ward, Rhett Tucker, and Cole Sacchetti, a threesome coming to the start-finish line. And surprisingly, Cole Sacchetti, he's usually the aggressive one. He's kind of laying back a little bit and seeing how this plays out.
Well, there wasn't too much room there at the quad oval. It looks a lot wider than what it actually is, because once you get closer to the grass, it actually loses even more grip. And you don't want to be down there on the straightaway at full speed, because you can really, really spin the tires down there, even if they are newer tires. So he's just being patient. Again, it's lap 4, now lap 5 out of 100. And it looks like Sobczak and Rapp have figured out how they want to run, so they close back up on Patrick Colby there.
And Ellis Thomas is just, minding his own business. And that number 8 Apex Energy Ford, hanging out in the 12th position and taking it easy. I would say he's off for a Sunday drive, but it's Wednesday, so I guess we could say he's on a Wednesday drive.
He's kind of leading that last group there, which it looks like everyone's just shaking it a little chill back here.
Not so much with Josh Ward and Cole Sacchetti as they continue to do battle on the backstretch. It looks like Ward is going to maintain that position, and Sacchetti is going to file in 6th.
Yeah, they're definitely pushing harder up front here than they are in that back group. And then there's like a small little group of like 3 trucks in between them. But everybody's kind of just feeling this out and letting their tires come in.
The fun battles right now are actually mid-pack. Larry Poling and Matt Kuntz are battling for the 17th position. And then right behind them, Zachary Doust is in a battle as well with Trevor Trago.
And they came up on Tim Tokarski there, kind of slowing Matt down. Matt had a run a couple times to get by Larry, but there's a truck in his way, so he couldn't really do anything. And now Larry is pulling ahead of him, coming through turns 1 and 2 there.
And Chase Berry last week. Oh,
there's a big checkup exiting 2. I don't know if the 83 got in the wall or if he just had to get out of it, but he really checked everybody up in that group there. It looks like he caught the wall. He does have some right side damage there.
And that was Cordo Loughran, and Tim Tokarski saw that ahead, and he checked up and nearly lost it coming off the corner.
Yeah, the right front fender is now caved in pretty good on the 83 truck there. Well, that's definitely going to hurt him the rest of the race, because you need that arrow here for both the straightaway speeds and to keep your right front tire on you in the corner. So he's definitely going to have a hard night the rest of the night.
And Trevor Trago is closing in on Cordo Loughran, as well as Poling and Matt Kuntz. We'll see. Well, Trago's getting close to that rear bumper, that number 13. Let's see if they can find a way around. Oh, nearly contact. Poling got loose going into the corner and nearly clipped the left rear of Kuntz. And now Kuntz is going to be able to get around the damaged 83 machine and take over that spot.
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos going down back here. Now they're
there's
3 wide.
3 wide now. Loughran on the bottom, Trago in the middle, and Chase Berry, last week's winner, up top. And Zachary Doust wants some of that action as well. All the action for, it looks like,
15th
position.
Yeah, it looked like Chase was like, I see what you guys are doing, and I just want to get out of here. And he tried to go around them, but he just ran out of room. It looks like Larry just got into the wall there a little bit, exiting 2, but keeps it going straight. And up front, we have a new leader. as we were watching that, Patrick Colby lost first and second place. It looks like he's about to lose third. Scott Sobczak is your new leader, and Chris Smith actually pulls in behind Patrick. So Patrick King is up to third, and Johnny Rep is up to second.
Yeah, and Poling looked like he just got into the corner a little bit too hot and kissed the wall, but didn't do. Probably has some damage to the side door, but that's about it. And let's go through our top 10 real quick. Now they have a new leader in Scott Sobczak. Scott Sobczak obviously leading the race. Johnny Rapper, points leader, is in second. Patrick Colby, our pole sitter, is in third. Chris Smith is fourth. Josh Ward is fifth. And rounding up the top 10, Cole Sacchetti, Evan Pienta, Rhett Tucker, Jeff Pogo, Nathan Rogie. And that is the top 10 after 13 laps here in the UD Awards 150 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Cole Sacchetti gets a big run out of the exit 2, and he dives to the inside of the 92 of Josh Ward, and he looks like he's gonna maybe take that. Josh does get a good run through the center of the corner, though, so looks like they'll be side by side still coming to the line.
I have a feeling coming up turn 2, Josh is probably going to let Cole Sacchetti go by. You know, Ward's a big picture racer. He doesn't need to be, racing guys this hard on lap 14. But maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Josh will race Sacchetti a little bit. But he maintains the position, and Evan Pienta has joined the fray along with Rhett Tucker.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, obviously you don't want to race too hard, but you also don't want to lose too much momentum and just lose like multiple spots because of that. So it looked like Josh just was like, oh, all right, you want to go down there? I'll just ride up here, and we'll see who comes out with it. And it looked like Sacchetti just didn't have the run out of 2, and he backed out, and now he lost a spot.
And going back to the incident with Cordo Lofgren, he also has damage to the right rear of that machine. So he's got more than just the right front. He's dinged that number 83 machine pretty good. Oh, contact. Cordo, not Cordo Lofgren. That was Nick DeCesare and Tim Tokarski. Door bangs coming off too.
Trying to find them here. They're still side by side.
Also, Brady Powers is on pit road for some reason, trying to figure out what happened to that number 22.
Looks like he's been down there for a few laps. It says he's 5 laps down. I'm not sure what happened to him. But Scott Sobczak is starting to pull away from Johnny Rapp in second. And Patrick Colby is still hanging on to third. And then there's a little bit of a gap to everybody else fighting for fourth back here.
It appears, I'm not sure what happened to Powers because his internet went out and it blinked out. And next thing you know, he's on pit road. So obviously something happened to the 22. Another rough day.
It always sucks to fall out of the race really early like that, especially when, again, you got 100 laps, so there's tons of things that could happen throughout the race, but it's going to be a long night, if not being over for him, unfortunately. And it looks like Josh Ward did take over fourth place, and
Chris Smith got around Sacchetti, and Brent Tucker is giving Sacchetti all that he can work with right now. And Evan Pienta is closing in. Oh, contact!
Got the wall.
Sacchetti got the wall.
It was a good job by all of them.
Straight.
Yeah, it was a good job by all of them.
I thought that was about to be a massive crash, but instead we had a massive save.
And neither of them lost a spot at that ordeal because Rhett Tucker was stuck behind both of them.
And Evan Pienta was just hanging out back there. Had he gotten into the wall, he might have had a new design on his number 55, pun intended.
Yeah, they did a good job keeping it straight and not making that worse. And now they're all settled back out. They closed back up on the 92.
And Brady Powers has disconnected from the server. He is done for the day. And Scott Sobczak has opened up a lead over Johnny Rapp of nearly a second.
The gap's
He's gapped him a bit, but that might not be a good thing in over the long haul. Obviously, the tires here wear out incredible, much worse compared to other racetracks.
Yeah, for about a 40 lap run, 40-ish, 35 to 40-ish lap run. I was getting notes that it was about a little over 2 seconds fall off, which is pretty big for about a 40 lap run.
Oh, hard contact. Cole Zucchetti this time not as lucky. He pounds the outside wall hard. And he has lost several positions. And it's probably going to get worse for that number 10 Wendy's truck.
And he was taking the high line to the corner, and he just could not keep it off the wall, and he brushed it. It could have been worse than what it was, but yeah, that's definitely not what you want. He does have some right front fender damage, and that's going to hurt him until he can hopefully maybe get that fixed.
But the right front toe is sticking out of that truck, so the longer we go in this run, the more difficult that truck is going to be for a number 10 Wendy Chevrolet of Cole Zucchetti. So the longer we go, it's gonna be tough. It's definitely gonna be tough for him. I mean, it's bad enough the tires are wearing out already, but you add in the fact that your toe's sticking out. It's gonna be a long day.
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't look like it's too much damage, so he might take the few extra seconds on pit road, the first pit stop, just to get it fixed and get it out of the way, so he can run the rest of the race and try to make up all the ground he loses. But we'll see. We'll see how things go. Also,
Evan Pienta got slideways off turn 2, and he held on to it. And he will retain the 6th position as Chris Smith and Zucchetti continue to battle behind him. So Zucchetti might have a damaged truck, but not driving like it's damaged.
And further up, Patrick Colby has caught back up to Johnny Rapp in 2nd place, and he's looking to try to take that spot back here. As he dives to the inside, peeking into turn 3. And it looks like Johnny's probably going to just give it to him so that he doesn't lose too much ground fighting.
And that is a typical Rapp move. Save it till the end of the race. Rapp is still hanging right there. Depending where he goes in turn 2, he could have potential to make a crossover move, but I don't think that's going to happen. Colby just gapped him in the corner. And Colby will make... Oh, trouble! Zucchetti's in the wall again, coming off 2. Oh, my goodness.
It looks like he's doing this. He did the same thing. He was really high through the corner, and he just got too high, and it stuck him up there, and he came down right in front of Chris Smith, and Chris really had to back off to not dump him. And that was a good move, good heads-up move by Chris Smith there in the 28.
And if Zucchetti hits the wall again, is Chris Smith going to be willing to let it back in again? This continues.
Zucchetti got extremely close there that time too. He's really on the edge up there. It's either really helping him like that lap where he made it work, or it's really hurting him like the lap before where it almost caused a big wreck. And with that going on, the 91 of Ryan Jones has caught these two.
I gotta say, it appears Zucchetti might be running out of lives. If he was a cat, and he'd be running pretty low.
He's getting way up there. He's still running that line, and it looks like Ryan Jones is trying to make that 3 wide, but the gap closed there when he got there. We'll see how hard he pushes here to get around these two.
You might as well give him the nickname of Wild Thing, not to plagiarize Kyle Busch's old nickname, but he has certainly been a wild one in this race.
And here, yep, there goes Brian. He's trying to go to the outside to make it 3 wide. We'll see what happens here.
And this is going to allow Chris Smith to get a run on the bottom. Ryan Jones is going to try to split him 3 wide. Will they think better of it? No, they're going to keep on racing.
Yeah, the 91 just didn't have the run off the exit to keep that there. That's the one thing where the high line does help a lot, and that's why Zucchetti's up there. It's just he's gotten bit a couple times trying to do that.
Meanwhile, we have a battle for 3rd position. Josh Ward and Rhett Tucker looking to get around Johnny Rapp.
It looks like Rapp's just gonna let them go here again. He doesn't want to, and they're 3 wide back there with Zucchetti, Jones, and Smith. And
Let's see what happens.
Sacchetti falls back, and it's still Jones and Smith side by side here through 3 and 4.
And Zucchetti's going to let him go. Here comes Zucchetti. He's got to run down the front stretch. Let's see what happens in turn 1.
And the 43 of Jeff Pogo is coming into the picture too, and we're going to have a 4-way battle here pretty soon.
Tremendous racing here, Tony.
Yeah, everyone's doing a really good job keeping it off each other as much as they can, and still trying to take everything they can get out of it as well. Looks like it's settling out though a little bit, so maybe they're going, hey, we got 5 to 10 laps here until we pit. Let's not kill each other.
I guess it depends where you go, because Trevor Trago and Nathan Rogie are battling for position here mid-pack. Here comes Trago on the bottom of the racetrack, and he's gonna get that right front right on that left rear quarter panel, but it looks like Rogie is going to maintain that spot. So that is a battle for 13th. Chase Berry, who started towards the back. Whoa! Coming up the corner, he got a Trago
got loose.
Rogie arrow loose.
Yep.
And Chase Berry, last week's winner, started in the back. He has cracked the top 15. And wow, what a move there from Trago side drafting off Rogie. Going into turn 1.
Rogie's getting tight though, so he's pushing up the track.
And Trago, what a move. That was a ballsy move there. Meanwhile, Chase Berry, he backed off and said, oh, I'm going to let you guys figure this one out.
And with that, Trago moves up to 13th. But up front, Scott Sobczak has a 2 1/4 second lead over second place Patrick Colby.
But as he said a couple laps ago, we're coming up soon on green flag pit stops. It'll be interesting to see if anyone attempts to short pit.
Well, they do have 3 sets of tires in the pit, so that's something you could do if you wanted to. But if you do that, you've got to have a green flag race.
And we have pit stops. Josh Ward and Rhett Tucker are on pit road. So green flag pit stops have officially begun here at Atlanta Motor Speedway on lap 33 of this 100-lap event.
And they both just barely made it onto pit road there, it looked like. So, but they did a good job getting on there, and they're both pulling in.
And Chase Berry has also been on pit road. He has gone and away. Zachary Douse is on pit road as well.
There's 4 trucks currently down there. Up front, though, Scott Sobczak and Patrick Colby are staying out. Johnny Rapp and Evan Pienta are coming down pit road, though. That's 3rd and 4th. Let us get... Oh,
and
the 39 spins entering pit road there.
Oh no, Timmy Emmanuel.
Let's try to... He just got in there way too hot, and when he hit the brakes, it spun out on him. He just barely kissed the wall, though, it looks like, so not much damage. Scott Sobczak is on pit road. That leaves Patrick Colby out there to take the lead again.
And meanwhile, Josh Ward, he just went flying around Johnny Rapp as he was re-entering the racetrack. And Patrick Colby maintains the lead, but he's going to have to pit here soon. But how soon?
Well, he's got some right front fender damage, too. I'm not sure when he got that, but he's coming down pit road. Your leader is coming down pit road. Cole Sacchetti is staying out to lead a lap here. He's got
Doesn't
Josh
appear
Ward.
that the damage has affected him.
No, not as bad as what you might have thought. But there goes Josh Ward and Rhett Tucker on new tires, getting their laps back.
And you'll see just how effective new tires are here at Atlanta. Rhett Tucker and Josh Ward just passed Cole Sacchetti like he had no idea how to drive.
Yeah, he definitely had his flashers on there saying, go around. And he's staying out. He's gonna try to push this as long as possible, it looks like.
Well, Wild Thing has been wild today, and this strategy has certainly been wild as Cole Sacchetti retains the lead, but I don't think he's going to hang out much longer because he's got... Oh,
Yeah, there's a lot of fast trucks that came up on him all at the same time, and that was really close to a problem. But everybody got
And
around him fine.
That caused Matt Kuntz to hit the wall, I believe. And I think Sacchetti is going to give up the battle here.
Yep,
He
he's
comes
coming
to pit
down. He's
row.
coming down. Yep. And so is six of Chris Lowry in second place. We'll see. That will give the lead over to George Fetzko in the 7 if he stays out. We'll see if he comes down pit road here too.
And when pit stops cycle around, Josh Ward will be our leader.
Fetzko is staying out, so he will get a lap led here, it looks like. I'm not sure if he led at the line, but he is your current leader. Yeah, Josh Ward is the first car behind him, and he is on fresh tires. So George Fetzko is the last truck to pit here.
And Chris Lowry came onto pit road running in second, and he is now back on the racetrack.
George Fetzko is coming down pit road. He's not going to lead this lap, so if he did not get the lap led last time, then he does not have a lap led at all, so that he didn't get any bonus points out there. But yeah, Josh Ward is now your leader, with Rhett Tucker in second, and they have about a 3-second gap over Scott Sobczak, Johnny Rapp, and Evan Pienta, third through fifth.
And Chris Tepp has re-entered the racetrack. He is currently running 25th. As we go back to our leaders, Josh Ward is now leading. Let's go through the top 10 real quick now that pit stops have cycled through. Josh Ward is our leader. Rhett Tucker is second. Scott Sobczak is third. Johnny Rapp fourth. Evan Pienta fifth. Matt Kuntz running well in sixth. Rye Jones seventh. Chase Berry started from the back. Now he's eighth. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. Patrick Colby ninth, our pole sitter, and Jeff Pogo rounds out the top 10. Cole Sacchetti, who stayed out for a few more laps to lead a lap, has moved back to 15th.
That might help him out later in the race here when he's got about 5 lap pressure tires and the rest of the field coming to the next set of pit stops. Oh, we got contact. The 9 of Patrick Colby got into the left rear of Matt Kuntz, but they were able to save it. We're gonna watch that replay here quick.
And Patrick Colby just had a huge run on Kuntz and got into the back of him, and Jeff Pogo and Larry Poling took evasive action by going to the inside, but thankfully Matt Kuntz held on to that truck.
Matt did a great job saving that. And Rhett Tucker in the 99 is closing a little bit on the 92 of Josh Ward. But they are off in their own little zone here, as Scott Sobczak and Johnny Rapp are about half a straightaway behind them.
And Ward, our leader, he's going to hit lap traffic here very shortly. Chris Lowry is there, Cordell Lofgren. Nathan Rogie has serious damage to the rear end of his number 87. Not sure what happened to him, but obviously someone got into the back of him. And Nick DeCesare right ahead of him. So we'll see if lap traffic could potentially play a factor, and that could potentially allow Scott Sobczak, who led much of the earlier part of this race, to close the distance.
Yeah, Sobczak, Rapp, and Pienta have been closing in because they pitted a few laps later, but they are still around 3 seconds behind, so it's going to be a while before they catch them. And yeah, Ward and Tucker are probably going to get this lap traffic within the next 3 to 4 laps. Looks like the closest battle is probably that 3rd, 4th, and 5th place right now. Oh, no, back here. Trevor Tragle is passing Matt Kuntz for 12th.
I think Kuntz has been struggling the last few laps, probably because he pitted a little early, so his tires are much more worn compared to the
Well,
competitors ahead of him.
and they went for a little slide there a couple laps ago too, so that's definitely not going to help out.
That definitely killed his momentum, most certainly. Um, and perhaps Patrick got, perhaps Patrick could have waited a little bit to, make such a move, considering there's, a lot of laps left in this race.
Yeah. The other thing is sometimes you don't realize how much closing speed you got on someone as well, but yeah, it's just an unfortunate incident that happened. Luckily, they were able to keep things going straight, and there's no caution or any wrecking out of that. Looks like Jeff Pogo and Patrick are both trying to pass Chase Berry for 7th here.
And Scott Sobczak is slowly but surely reeling in the top duo of Rhett Tucker and Josh Ward as we're approaching lap 49 of this 100-lap event. So, Tony, we're almost halfway.
Yes, and that he's really reeled them in the last couple laps because it went from 3 seconds to just under 2 seconds for Scott Sobczak. So I don't know if the first two are falling off now because they were like really pushing on those new tires, or did they come up on someone while we were looking at the other battles? I'm not sure.
Well, Ward and Tucker did run their fastest laps of the race in the midst of that cycle. So, and as you see, Tucker, he really shot in his number 99 Ford into turn 3. So yeah, they're pushing hard here.
Yeah, so their tires are probably falling off a bit faster than what the rest of them are because I believe they wanted to get the biggest lead they could over Sobczak, especially since Sobczak had a big lead in the first race.
And perhaps, trouble! Chris Lowry hard into the outside wall, and he loses a spot to Nathan Rogie. Lowry, it appeared he just got too high. And that number 6 Bucky's Chevrolet. Let's see what happens here to turn 3, and
looks like he just went in and it didn't turn.
Went in and didn't turn.
Yep.
And perhaps he was trying to enter the corner differently because of excess tire wear, but he's got too close to the wall.
And Sobczak has knocked off another second. He's only 1 second behind the leaders now. He is really closing in here. We are halfway. We're about to be 49 laps to go when they hit the line here.
And another thing that Ward and Tucker were probably thinking during that cycle, as you said, let's push our trucks to the best capacity that we can, build a lead, and then maybe we can pray for a caution. Just after lap 50 or so, put another set of tires on. We have 2 more sets left, and then we're back on even footing. But they are running out of mulligans because Scott Sobczak is reeling them in. Tucker has been looking to the inside, but he has not been able to get the run off the corner that he needs.
I think Tucker really wants to try to get a lap led before Scott catches them because I'm sure he knows that once Scott gets there, they're just sitting ducks.
If you think about it, the harder that Tucker pushes, that's going to bring the others into the fray. Johnny Rapp, Evan Pienza, those guys are probably going to have better tires than him. So, and in case this race goes green the rest of the way, you don't want to throw all your eggs in one basket so fast.
As you see, he got loose there, and he left some skid marks, so that didn't help with his rears at all. His rears got a little extra warm there.
And it's interesting, Timmy Emmanuel might be, a lap truck. He's currently scored in the two laps down in the 25th position, but he got around Evan Pienta, and he's about to get around Johnny Rapp. And Emmanuel, he's on fresher tires. Perhaps there's a chance, that he can pass the leaders here, get a lap back, get a caution, and take the wave around and get back on the lead lap.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you can get around the leaders before a caution comes out, then you don't get the lucky dog, which means you can catch the field before they go down pit road. You can pit with the leaders. If you're the lucky dog, you have to wait a lap and then go down with the lappers and then go to the end of the line. But you still do get your lap back, but it's obviously beneficial to be ahead of the leaders. And Sobczak did just pass Tucker for second, and he's setting his sights on Ward here in 3 and 4.
And for the fans wondering what happened to Timmy Emmanuel to put him back in that position, he spun entering pit road during green flag pit stops, and it took him a little bit to get that truck in reverse and get back going. And of course, you had the pit stop. And anytime you make a mistake on pit road, especially under green, it's bad. But when you spin entering pit road under green, it's demonstrably worse.
Every second on pit road is like a few hundred yards on.
Oh, Larry Poling into the wall off too, and he's going to come down right in front of traffic. And Zachary Doust is not quite there yet. So Poling,
The George Fesco the 7 did get around him while that was happening, so it was a good job keeping it off each other there.
and
Looks
Poling,
like
he's
he-
gotten into the wall a few times today.
Yeah. And Scott Sobczak is only 2/10 behind Josh Ward for the lead right now as they head off into turn 3.
Wouldn't be surprised if Ward lets him go sooner rather than later.
Well, Josh still has some good speed himself. If I were him, I would make Sobczak earn it as much as I can without putting us both in a situation to wreck. Because if I can do that if I'm Josh, then I would make Sobczak use his tires up that much quicker on this run and even us out for later on here.
That is true. I mean, you could play possum, but what if the possum doesn't want to play possum?
Well, that he is also running the high line, so he can kind of do that because if he's running the high line and Sobczak can't come up out of the corner, that's going to hurt his tires more by trying to keep it off him and keep it down there. And as you can see, it breaks the momentum. So Sobczak did pull up alongside him in the corner, but he wasn't able to keep it there. And see, now he's going to the high side to try to get around him with the run off the corner here down the backstretch. But Ward throws a block, Sobczak crosses under him, and it looks like Scott's going to take the lead here this time in third.
And as they continue to duke it out side by side, Timmy Emmanuel is closing in on the leaders, including Tucker, who is hanging in third spot.
It looks like Rapp and Pienta have slowed up a little bit more than these guys up here, and they're starting to lose a little bit of ground. And Ward is still hanging on tough there, so he's doing what he wants to do and hold Sobczak back as long as possible. But now Sobczak finally clears him, and Scott will probably pull away here for the rest of this run.
And trouble in turn 4. Jeff Pogo lost it coming off the corner and took a ride through the grass. So he lost a few spots to
There's
Ellis Thomas
there's
and
a whole
Chase
bunch
Berry.
of trucks here now for position. Oh, Chase Berry almost gets run over going down to pit road there. Chase Berry is on pit road.
Kind of an early time to stop. What do you
Well,
think the strategy is here?
He's probably splitting this race into thirds because he pit around lap 30, right? And this is lap 60. And that's 2 sets of tires. That leaves 1 set in the pits. So if he pits like lap 80 to 90, he'll have 10 to 20 laps to run on fresher tires than everybody else. It's probably
And Bry
what
Jones
he's
is on the
thinking.
same strategy. He's on pit road.
Yep, right Jones is. And whoever's right in front, I missed who that was. That someone else was just in front of Chase Berry. He's on the same strategy too, I believe.
Yeah, Johnny Rapp also was on pit road.
Oh, that's who that was. Okay.
And Zachary Doust is doing the same thing. So very interesting strategies playing out here, Tony.
Yeah, that extra set of tires allows you to do a few more things, and people are definitely taking advantage of that. The only thing is now if they have a caution in like 15, 20 laps, that's going to put everybody on the same set of tires because everyone's going to be on pit road, including these guys. But these guys will have no sets left, while everyone who's still on track right now would still have 1 set left.
And
So-
Chris Smith hits from 9th position, and he is joined by our pole sitter, Patrick Colby.
And
we have an
the
interesting
42
battle
of Paul
brewing here.
Thomas.
Bry Jones re-enters the track. Ellis Thomas is right behind him, and Cole Zacchetti and Trevor Trago are battling.
And with those fresh tires, Rye's kind of boxed in while trying to get around them as quickly as possible.
Evan Pienta is on pit road.
And up front, Scott Sobczak is starting to gap Josh Ward in second place there.
He also has a triad of lap trucks ahead of him, including Nathan Rogie, Patrick Dubenberger, and Zachary Doust. And here comes Cole Zucchetti. He's on the outside. He's looking.
Oh, he just
And-
got there enough to keep Trago from coming up, and that's going to help him down the straightaway as you can see pull up alongside. And it looks like Zucchetti under that first pit stop did get his damage fixed for the most part. His fender's looking a lot better out there.
And now he's got the run off 2 down the back straightaway, and he's not clear yet. Coming into 3 and perhaps coming off 4, he will clear Trevor Trago and put Cole Zucchetti back in the top 5. And now Josh Ward and Brett Tucker are back on pit road.
Yep, so they got 35 laps left. They could make it to the end on fuel here, so they're in their fuel window. So that's
Here comes our leader. Scott Sobczak is hitting pit road.
and the 87 right in front of him is also getting onto pit road. Hopefully Scott didn't speed there. He came in pretty hot.
And Timmy Emmanuel is going to get a lap back.
That'll put Cole Zucchetti as your new leader, followed by Trevor Trago, and that's a lap truck of Chase Berry. Chase is trying to get his lap back as well. And he's got a big run on the inside. There's not a whole lot of room, but he does. They make it work. We'll see if Zucchetti will.
And Larry Poling slid up in front of the 42 of Paul Thomas, nearly a collision as Cordo Lofgren runs off track. And Paul Thomas is going to get around Poling now for that position. And Lofgren is able to regain control of his truck. And Nick DeCesare is also going to pass Larry Poling. And here comes Chris Lowry, our 5th place truck.
Sobczak and Chris Smith are just getting their laps back. And we'll see if Zucchetti and Trago try to go as long as possible on this run to see if they can hope for a caution to come out and keep as many people lapped down as they can. But yeah, it looks like they're going to stay out as long as they possibly can, which means they can go another 8 to 10 laps probably before they have to pit.
And that was an interesting moment there on the back straightaway. And Rhett Tucker split Timmy Emmanuel and Patrick Dubenberger right down the middle. This as they were entering turn 3. What a move there from the 99.
Matt Kuntz and Larry Poling are on pit road as well. Scott Sobczak is back into the top 10. Patrick Colby is also up to 9th. A lot of shuffling going on here.
And if the caution were to come out, Ellis Thomas would be the lucky dog recipient.
And he is in 13th currently. Yeah, the top 2 are not too... Oh, Trevor Trago is going down pit road. He's not staying out any longer.
And he was running 2nd, and he kind of slid there coming into pit road. Hopefully he didn't get caught speeding.
Yeah. That leaves 2 people who have not pit yet, and that's Cole Zucchetti in the 10, your first place truck, and Chris Lowry, the 6, who is about to take over 2nd once it gets past Trevor Trago here. But Johnny Rapp, who has pit already, is not too far behind Chris, so he'll probably take over 2nd place here before too long, but they are both about 15 seconds behind Zucchetti in 1st, who is still staying out. He just crossed the line again.
And the battle for Timmy Emmanuel to get back on the lead lap was not successful because he has hit pit road and will go back down 2 laps. Nick DeCesare pits from the 15th position. And Chris Lowry, what happened there? Perhaps I thought he hit the wall. Josh Ward just blew past him. I thought there was trouble.
He has not pit yet, so everybody on these fresher tires are just that much faster right now. I believe he's trying to stay out as long as he possibly can. which gives them another like 5-ish laps.
Yeah, and when you stay out here at Atlanta, compared with the other drivers that are on fresher tires, it can seem like that you're in trouble when honestly you just need tires.
Well, again, it's a little over a 2-second fall off, so if somebody's running 2 seconds faster than you, it makes you feel like you're not going anywhere. But Cole Sacchetti is coming down pit road. He's giving up the lead.
And that will give the lead to Johnny Rapp, at least for now.
Well, Josh Ward might get him here before they get to the line. It looks like Josh will make that move on the outside.
Yep, you're right. And Josh Ward, well, he's not clear just yet, and he is now. Josh Ward will take the lead when we cycle around.
I believe he did lead that lap.
He did, because Cole Sacchetti just hit pit road.
It looks like Chris Lowry is also pitting, so everybody has pit on this cycle now.
And meanwhile, Scott Sopsack, he is currently scored. Well, it's going to update here at the start-finish line because Sacchetti is obviously not the leader, but he will probably be scored. He'll probably be scored in 7th here.
Rhett Tucker also just passed Johnny Rapp for 2nd place.
And here comes Sopsack, and he's going to move around the number 9 of Patrick Colby. Or is he? Colby's fighting back on the outside, and here goes Scott. Here goes Sopsack. He gets the run off the corner, and he takes the 6th position. And Chris Lowry just came off pit road. And Evan Pienza is trying to close in on Johnny Rapp, and that truck to the outside is Matt Kuntz. That is not for position. Kuntz is scored one lap down in 14th position. He is the first truck a lap down. But here comes Kuntz. He's going to drive around Rapp, and he'll set his sights on our leader, Josh Ward, and perhaps Kuntz can put himself back on the lead lap.
He's got 3 lap fresher tires than the leader.
And if Kuntz is able to get around Ward to put himself back in the lead lap, that would put Tim Tokarski in the number 25 in the lucky dog position, followed by Chris Lowry.
But up front, it looks like Ward has about 0.8 of a second lead over Rhett Tucker in 2nd.
And so, we have anyone in the chat, Tony? And do they have any questions?
I have not seen anybody message yet, unfortunately. Hopefully everybody's just enjoying the show at least, and there's definitely been a lot of action on track.
And for those of you guys who are listening to this live broadcast and watching your loved ones, if you subscribe to our Twitch channel, you'll be put in a drawing for a free hat this month, the month of March, and it's almost April. So we will let you know next week what the drawing is, the next item. We will find out soon, Tony.
Yeah, we will get in contact with Ellis. He's a little busy right now. He's got a truck out there that's probably not handling the best right now since he is about 15 to 20 laps in on this run. As he's getting passed here by Trevor Trago for 11th.
You mean we can't just radio him and ask him?
I mean, I'm sure we could, but I don't know if he wants that right now.
Yeah, when Jeff Pogo brushed the wall coming off 2, maybe he didn't, but he got really close. And that number 43, he's currently scored in 10.
Yeah, people are starting to spread out a little bit as we get through the middle of this green flag cycle.
But what's the call here in the last 20 laps? Do you think that anyone is going to, hit within the next 10 laps and try to make one last dash for the final 10 circuits?
Honestly, if I'm Johnny Rapp and Chase Berry and those guys who hit lap 30 and lap 60, I want to come down right now so I can have 20 laps and that extra 10 laps to make up any time that I lose. And plus, if you do it now, you'll have that much more fresher tire than everyone else if they do run this out until they have to come down. And again, they made their bed when they did the They pit on lap 60. They could make it to the end on fuel if they really save, but I believe they're probably on a tire strat where they want to try to maximize tires as much as possible. So if I were them, I'd pit right now. It seems like they're probably going to be going another 5 to 10 laps at least, though.
But it doesn't look like Johnny Rapp is taking your advice yet. But, if I were him, I would definitely consider it. He's back about 4 seconds, and he has nothing to lose. And in fact, he has everything to gain because Josh Ward is his closest points competitors leading this race. He's got to come up with a way to maintain that points lead, and that seems like, a viable option.
Yeah, again, like, I don't... You might lose 5 to 10 spots if things work out badly, but if you've already made this decision, as we see Matt Kuntz getting his lap back the hard way here, or trying to, I would go for everything right now and just make that pit stop. And again, you'll have about 15, 16 laps to just run Q laps the whole time and try to make up as much ground and time as possible. And with that much fresher tire than everyone, you definitely make up a lot of ground.
I think what Rapp is probably thinking is, is the risk worth the reward? It's kind of like investing in something that's, worth a couple bucks and, maybe putting $10 in it, high risk, high reward. And I think Rapp is just, he's kind of like on the edge of what he wants to do here.
Yeah, and plus, as the points leader, you don't want to give up too many points as well, so it's understandable. As Scott Sobczak has hit kind of a wall here because he's gotten stuck behind a couple trucks that are really slowing him down, and he's trying to get around them as quickly as possible so he can keep running everybody down.
That's Rye Jones who's trying to get around, and the other truck that had them boxed in was the lap truck of Nick DeCesare, who scored in 19th.
And Sobczak does get around Jones.
And Jeff Pogo struggles to continue. He got really high in turn 1, and Cole Zacchetti got around him, and looks like that number 43 Monster Energy Ford is bottoming out as they go down the backstretch.
He's getting really loose off the exit of 4 there, you can see. He left a little bit of tire marks as well. So he's definitely hoping for something to happen so he can get some freshies on there. Sobczak is closing in on Rapp for 4th here. Rapp is still out there. Chase Berry is still out there. So they're probably going to try to make it all the way on fuel, but that's going to... I don't know, man.
Sobczak's also got to get around Nick DeCesare, who's on a little bit fresher tires right now in that 00 machine. So he still has to get around him, and in fact... DeCesare might end up getting around Rapp here off 4. He's got to run, and he's going to take a look on the inside.
Yeah, Rapp is now on 27 laps on his tires. The Ward and Tucker are on their 22nd lap. Pienta is on his 24th lap, and Sobczak is on his 21st lap. So the tires are really coming into play now.
And Chris Tepp is going to make his way around Chase Berry, last week's winner, who is in the top 10. And as you were saying, Chase Berry splitting this race into thirds. Do you think Berry is going to make a stop here in the final 10 laps?
Honestly, now I believe he's probably going to just try to make it on fuel because, again, 40 laps is the max on a fuel run, roughly. And when he pit on lap 60, 61, that was fuel range. So he's probably just trying to get to the end here and maybe hope for other people to run out of fuel or something.
And speaking of which, a lot of guys were pushing it earlier in this run. Do you feel like they have enough fun to make it on fuel? I know we're not mathematicians by any means, but certainly if you push the truck too hard in the first part of the run, you set yourself up to run out of fuel later if there's not a caution.
Yeah, and the first ones that are gonna be
trouble in the front stretch. Chase Berry is in the wall hard, and no caution yet, and he's done. Chase Berry is. Oh,
Oh, it looked.
goodness, that was a
Oh, it
massive
looks
crash.
like. Yeah, it looks like there was a little bit of net code between him and the 69, and the 69 just lost control and went up and put them both in the wall there.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
the
big net
69
code.
also. Oh, he bounced off the wall first, and then. Yeah. Oh, yep. Chase Berry blew his engine. I don't know if Larry Poling also blew his engine. No, he doesn't look like he did, but yeah, he took a lot of damage as well. He is on pit road. His steering, it looks like his rear axle's out of place as he is crab walking down the pit road.
Yeah, I was gonna say I only saw because I was looking on from the angle of pit road, and I only saw Barry, explode into the air. But once I rewound the tape, it appears Larry Poling got into him, and both of them went airborne. That was a hard wreck, and somehow no caution.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that wasn't a caution, especially with the engine blowing on the 5 truck, but we're staying green, so this is definitely gonna keep that fuel speculation in play. So we'll see if anybody runs out here as Sobzak is trying to get around Johnny Rapp here for 4th.
Well, if anybody runs out of gas, they might be calling robbery after that. Hopefully, they don't see the replay of that incident.
Yeah, if I'm someone who's pretty deep in the fuel run as Rapp is, who is on his 32nd lap, I would definitely be like, hey, let me pit. Let's all pit. Let's start over quick. As we are on 8 laps to go, the Sobzak does pass Johnny Rapp here for 4th. Josh Ward is about to take the line for 7 laps to go here. We're on 7 laps to go.
And Red Tucker's in an interesting position here, Tony. Does he push it a little bit harder? Maybe try to, get in Josh Ward's head and try to get him to push it too hard and force him to run out of gas? Or if he does that, does he put himself at risk for running himself out of fuel?
We're being about a half a second behind. I think he's kind of just gonna probably wait until the last couple laps and see if he can do anything like that, if he's close enough. Otherwise, if I'm him, I'd be completely satisfied with taking home a 2nd place after this race tonight.
And Patrick Colby and Chris Smith are battling for the 8th position. Smith has the edge at the line. And let's see what happens here in turn 1. Our pole sitter, he's kind of had an up and down day. Colby's gotten caught in the wall, gotten into a couple of other trucks, and Smith takes the position, but Colby's going to attempt the crossover here into turn 3.
He had the outside line exiting 2, which gave him more momentum, and now he's sending it to the bottom in 3 and 4 here, and he'll try to do the same thing Chris did, but I don't think he's got the tires for it.
And Chase Berry and Larry Poling have both been released from the virtual infield care center.
Well, I'm sure they're not happy with how their race ended.
But hey, you know what? Maybe they can have some good old Southern cooking. Some pancakes and bacon. Some good old food.
Red Tucker is closing in on Josh Ward ever so slowly.
As we have 4 laps to go and 2 lap trucks ahead of them, Matt Kuntz and Zachary Douse, and they are struggling and plowing down the back straightaway as the leaders close in on them. Nick DeCesare nearly gets the wall off too.
Well, and yeah, Brett Tucker is closing in. He's cut off another half a tenth here in the last lap or so. It looks like the handling might be going away on Ward in that 92 truck. He looks like he's struggling a little bit, and Tucker has moved up. Oh, he gets loose on the exit of 2 though.
It was Carl Edwards dirt tracking there off turn 2 as Josh Ward comes into turns 3 and 4, and at the line he will have 2 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway in the UD Awards 150. Does Red Tucker have enough to challenge Josh Ward for the win? Let's find out over these last few laps. And the biggest question, do they have enough fuel to make it to the finish?
They're right on the lower edge. I'm guessing they'll probably make it. It's just
if they run out of gas, Scott Sobczak and Evan Pienta will be in the in the
And
in the third seat here.
Sobczak just passed Evan Pienta there for third.
And white flag is out. 1 lap to go here at Atlanta.
And Ward is hanging on to a 3.5 tenth lead. So Tucker needs to really send it here, or hope Ward has an issue.
And both of them really sent it into turn 1. Here they come down the back straightaway for the final time. Josh Ward looking for his second win of the Apex Energy Truck Series season. Tucker throws it in deep into turns 3 and 4, and it's not going to be enough. Josh Ward will come off turn 4 and win the UD Awards 150 at Atlanta Motor Speedway for his second win on the season. And what a clutch performance for Josh Ward, as he potentially will take over the points lead. We'll have to see what happens. Johnny Rapp,
he did end up
comes
fifth.
home 5th.
Yeah, Tucker in second. Scott Sobczak made it back up to third. Evan Pienta fourth, and Johnny Rapp ended up in fifth. He made it 39 laps on that.
We round out the top 10. We have Ryan Jones, Trevor Trago, Chris Smith, Cole Zacchetti with a decent comeback, coming from 15th back to 9th. Patrick Colby, our pole sitter, came home 10th. And rounding out the rest of the field, you go, Tony.
11th was Jeff Pogo. Ellis Thomas ended up 12th. Matt Kuntz in 13th. Chris Lowry in 14th. Tim Tokarski in 15th. Zachary Dow 16th. Nick Duchestre comes home 17th. George Petsko in 18th. Paul Thomas 19th. Patrick Dauerberger 20th. Nathan Rogie 21st. Cordell Lofgren. Timmy Emmanuel. Chris Stepp. Chase Berry after an unfortunate incident. And then Larry Poling also behind him. And last was Brady Powers. As you see Josh Ward celebrating here, we will get the top 3 up here in the booth as soon as we can, and we'll interview them here before the night's over.
And Josh Ward is honoring Alan Kulwicki with the Polish victory lap here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. A great sight here, Tony.
Indeed. And he definitely earned it. Gotta try to find everybody. We will get Red Tucker when he shows up, but first in the booth, you want to take Scott Sobczak here, Ryan?
Yeah, let's do it.
Scott Sobczak, you're in the booth.
Hey, Scott, welcome to the booth. Congratulations on your third place run. You dominated the early part of this race, and you know what caused you to slip back in position? Was it just altering pit strategies and a lack of cautions?
I think actually it was a mishap on that last pit stop, and accidentally clicked in to add a little bit more fuel than I needed. And unfortunately, I think that was the difference in the couple of seconds that the guys had gained, and that was about it. It's too bad because I think we had probably the fastest truck out there, for definitely the first half of the race, and I thought we were really good on the long run. And unfortunately, just a couple of seconds there on pit road was the difference. And I think we're going to catch them at the end there, but definitely not enough time.
Were you just praying for a caution behind the wheel of your machine?
After about lap 75, I was the first 3/4 of the race, or 2/3. I was definitely I was fine with it going green, but yeah, they had the Ward and Tucker had the pit strategy there that made sense, and they even came a little bit earlier on the first stop. Got out ahead, and so I had to chase him down and was able to do that. But that second stop just kind of put the nail in the coffin for us, and we'll see what we can do next week.
But hey, a podium is still a podium, even though NASCAR doesn't recognize those, and you still had a great run. Congratulations again, and hopefully you get him next time. And do you have anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast, obviously, and if they're watching at home, definitely my wife Alex and Remy and Mr. Figs, they know who they are. They're always supporting, so glad if they're watching. And yeah, thank you guys.
All right, the honor is ours. Thank you so much for everything you do and for helping us have fun here.
Cheers.
Congrats, Scott, on the third, and hopefully we'll see you next week. All right. Second place was Rhett Tucker. Rhett, you were closing in at the end there. Was there anything you had left, or did you just need a few more laps? And how did your race go?
Tony, I love hearing your voice, man. Did I ever tell you that?
No, you have not.
Dude, if I had one more lap, man, that's all I needed. I don't know how I saved it. I don't know. I cannot save tires for the life of me. Everybody knows that, but I'm happy with that performance. Congrats to Josh. He did everything perfect, and I think we both got lucky when Scott must have had some kind of boo-boo on that last pit stop, because he was in a different zip code, but he wound up 7 seconds behind us.
I think he said he ended up putting in too much fuel, so he lost a few seconds on pit road because of that.
Oh man, I'm very thankful for that.
And he was definitely closing in at the end there until he caught some traffic too that slowed him down. But
That
yeah,
dude was rolling.
yeah, you kept it clean all night. You kept it straight. We did see a couple times where you got a little loose coming off the corner. Don't know if that's just because you're pushing that hard. Again, you definitely closed up towards the end there, and I'm sure it would have been a heck of a show if we had about 3 more laps there.
Man, I've never been in a situation where I was like, if I only had one more lap, but that right there was one. This track's crazy. Like you can drive too hard and make your truck be tight for the rest of the race, or you can use the right rear. So I was trying to balance that and use my right rear instead of the right front. So yeah, that I feel like half of the race I was kind of stepping the right rear out, just trying to keep her straight with the throttle pedal.
Well, again, yeah, great finish. You came home with second, and we're at Darlington next week. You got any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be sick. Nah, Darlington's fun, man. It's a love-hate relationship with the lady in black for sure. But I just need to get some practice in this week and go get her done.
All right, well, hopefully we'll see you back up here. Is there anyone you want to shout out or give thanks to before you head out?
Yeah, man. You and Ryan, everybody in the broadcast booth, Ellis, everybody that helps put this whole deal together at Slingshot. What we got? Viral Computers, Malwarebytes. Thrustmaster. I got a new direct drive wheel today that I haven't hooked up yet, but pretty pumped to do that. Yeah.
Darlington will be a great place to test that out at.
Yeah, we might have to dial her back a little bit for Darlington.
Hopefully, you don't hurt your wrist or anything. But
Right.
Sweet.
I'm saying.
All right. Well, congrats again on your second, and again, hopefully we'll see you next week and have a good one.
Thank you, guys.
That was Brett Tucker, your second place finisher, and now we will bring up your winner, Josh Ward.
And before we speak, do we have an update on the point standings, Tony?
He has not updated the points yet,
Not yet. But hey, you know what? Josh Ward, we'll just say it. Congratulations on the win. Unreal pit strategy that you guys played out, and you might be the points leader after this race is over. I don't want to put your hopes up because Johnny Rapp still finished in the top 5, but if he did, what a performance, man! Your second win on the season. Tell us how you did it.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me, Tony and Ryan. I'm sure you put on a great broadcast, and I think tire strategy was a big part of it. Rhett was definitely keeping me on my toes. He was faster. And I got to say, man, Scott Sobzak, I feel for the guy after just getting taken out last night, and then he just ended up on the wrong side of pitch strategy tonight. I honestly think he had the fastest car, but yeah, just try to save the tires and run up a little bit higher than everybody else and just go for it. But I swear my heart rate was through the roof on those last 15 laps. I kept looking up at my dash and saw Red getting a little bit closer and a little bit closer. I think 4 or 5 laps he would have had me, but glad to get a win, and hopefully we can get the points lead, but it's been a good race all season.
As your heart rate was going through the roof, were you on edge behind your steering wheel, just trying to make sure you didn't overdrive the corner and give Rhett Tucker an open door to pass you for the win?
Yeah, I mean, I knew if he got to me, I was gonna run the high line. I was kind of running the middle and up top and in 3 and 4 anyways. I was definitely gonna give him a run for his money. I think if he would have got around me, I mean that would have been it. But I was fortunately just able to hold him off just in time.
Awesome. And Josh, do you have anyone to shout out here on the Apex Energy Truck Series?
Um, I mean, congrats to Rhett for running me down. Pretty happy to finish in the number 92 LN Cart Chevrolet, and my brother's out of town, but he's usually running this with me, and we just appreciate you guys having us, and it was a great race.
And obviously next week is the Lady in Black Darlington Raceway. I've never seen you guys race at Darlington, but I'm going to next week. You know, what are your thoughts on the track that's too tough to tame?
I absolutely love it. I love the tracks where the tires wear out. There's not many cautions, and most of the people in this league, honestly, I've had a really good experience racing around them. I mean, you know, you get door to door with some people, but for the most part, you give each other room. And as the tires wear out on tracks like that and tracks like this, it really gives you an opportunity to see, you know, who the fastest driver is and actually run for it instead of just running all over everybody. But I don't know if I'm going to pull off a win next week. Hopefully so, but I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Congratulations again on the win. Number 2 of the 2023 season here in the Apex Energy Truck Series. Josh Ward, your winner of the UD Awards 150. Congratulations once again, Josh.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Congrats, Josh. Hopefully see you up here next week.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that was your winner, Josh Ward in the 92 truck. Again, as he said, that was pretty good racing by everybody out there. It was nice to let them all battle it out and decide who was going to win on the track instead of having a bunch of restarts and all that stuff. But again, that was I had fun watching. I hope everyone else on Twitch and YouTube also had fun watching. I thought it was a pretty good race. What about you, Ryan?
It was fantastic. I don't think we had any cautions.
Nope, we did not.
Not a single caution. Unbelievable. So it was just, you know, green flag strategy the entire race. Good racing. We didn't really see a lot of, you know, didn't see really any dirty racing. Didn't really see any contact until the netcode incident involving Lurie and Poling and Chase Berry. Great race. Very interested. Very excited. I mean, Darlington, my favorite racetrack. So, you know, a little bit biased on that, but really excited for that race.
There's definitely going to be a lot of wall brushing and hitting out there. And hopefully they'll be
No
able
doubt.
to put on another great show like tonight. And again, thanks everybody who did watch. Hope you enjoyed, and we will catch you next week.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. To the fans that, you know, continue to invest and, you know, provide us with an opportunity to do what we love, we thank you so much. We are so very grateful. And for those of you who watched tonight, Josh Ward, your winner of the UD Awards 150 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway from Hampton, Georgia. I'm Ryan O'Hara alongside Tony Hilbrand. We'll see you next week at the track that's too tough to tame, Darlington Raceway. Have a great night.